Hello everyone, today's topic is Southern blotting. By this technique, we can identify or we can specify a specific type of DNA sequence from others. Let's see what happened in this technique. First method is used for the detection of specific DNA sequence in various DNA sample. That means this technique is firstly discovered for specification of DNA sequence in a various DNA sample, as I said before. It is a combined process. Why it is called a combined process? As because it is included with two different mechanisms, that is gel electrophoresis techniques or mechanisms and the probe hybridization techniques. That's why this process is also called a combined process. This technique is first developed by E.M. Sauternes in 1975. In 1975, scientist E.M. Sauternes discovered this technique. That's why, according to his names, this technique is named as Southern blotting. So, what are the steps involved for this Southern blotting techniques? Let's see. First is DNA isolation, next fragmentation, then gel electrophoresis, blotting, hybridizations, washing, autoradiography or detections. Autoradiography is also a detection technique. Let's see the first steps, that is DNA isolation. Here the term isolation means something differentiate with a whole thing, right? That's called isolation or isolate something. With the help of cell lysis, we get the genetic proteins or genomic proteins, or you may call DNA. With the help of cell lysis is a technique by which we can get the genomic proteins or DNA. What happened in the cell lysis techniques? Proteins are enzymatically degraded by incubations with proteinase. Proteinase is an enzyme by which we can degrade proteins. And DNA is purified by alcohol precipitations. Alcohol precipitation is the mechanisms by which we can differentiate or we can purify the DNA from other substance or other cell organelles. Next steps, that is the fragmentations, or you may call it restriction digestions. Fragmentations is another terms is restriction digestion. So in this fragmentation techniques, break the DNA strand into fragments with the help of restriction endonuclease enzymes. It may be EcoR1. It's called restriction digestions. So basically in the fragmentation process, DNA, double-stranded DNA is cutting out with the help of restriction endonuclease enzymes, and they from some fragments. That means those restriction endonuclease have the property to cleave or cut the DNA, double-stranded DNA. Next process, that is the gel electrophoresis techniques. By this process, separation of DNA fragments according to their size occurs. That means in the gel electrophoresis process, we can separate the DNA according to their size. Fragments are loaded into the agarose gels and then turn the process. You can see in this picture there is a chambers where we can process the gel electrophoresis, and you can see the comb-like structures which is introduced into the chamber, by which a path is generated into the gel membrane, and we can introduce the sample or DNA fragments into it. After this, electric supply is given into it, and here in the chamber there is a positive end and is a negative end. That means one side is anode, another side is cathode. So what happened in this, after introducing the sample into it, large fragments travels minimum path towards a positive end, and the smaller fragments travels maximum path towards a positive path of the porous gels and from bands. So here a band formation occurs into the gel medium, as because we all know DNA have the negative backbone. That's why this negative points is highly attracted to the positive points. That's why the smaller fragments which are highly negative in nature travels maximum path towards the positive end of the gel membrane. By this techniques we can separate out uh, larger fragments and smaller fragments. Here you can see the zooming section of gel electrophoresis chamber, where you can see we can introduce the DNA sample into it, and after entering into this, electric supply is running, and during these situations the DNA fragments are travels towards the positive end, and those DNA samples which are a big structure or which have big structures, they form a band after traveling the minimum path, and the smaller one or smaller structural proteins travels maximum path towards the positive end. By these techniques we can we can differentiate or separate the smaller one proteins or smaller structural proteins and the bigger structural protein. Next technique is blotting. Transfer of DNA fragment from gel onto a membrane. Basically, in this blotting techniques, we can transfer the DNA fragments gel to membrane, right? Those membranes are made up of NDF or nitrocellulose. Okay, so let's see what are the arrangement of this blotting process. First of all, in the bottom sections you can see there is alkaline wafers. Topmost alkaline wafer, that there is a sponge, and then place the gel section or gel membrane. Towards the gel membrane there is a nitrocellulose membrane or membrane. Then uppermost is paper, uppermost of the nitrocellulose membrane there is a paper or filter paper. Then we place the weight. That is the arrangement of blotting section. Those alkaline wafer have the property to segments the DNA, and those alkaline wafers travels opposite to the gravitational force and they pass through the sponge. Then it travels through the gels, and they where DNA fragments is present or DNA material is present. After this, with the alkaline wafers, the DNA segments travels into the nitrocellulose membrane where probe is present. After introducing the probe, alkaline buffer travels or soaked by this paper. So let's see what happened in this nitrocellulose membrane, or how can we introduce the probe into it. Let's see probe attachment or probe introductions. A nucleic acid probe are used with a sequence of homologous to the targeted sequence under study is labeled with a radioactivity fluorescence dye or enzymes. Enzymes can generate a chemiluminescent signal when incubated with a specific substrate. That means what happens in this nucleotide membranes, we can use a label probe, that is the known probe we introduced into it. That's why we said that nucleic acid probes are used with a sequence of homologous to the targeted sequence. And those probes are attached with some radioactive fluorescence dye, or it may be some enzymes which can bind with a specific substrate. Here, point to be noted: the choice of the label depends on the several factors such as nature of your probe, probe temperatures, sensitivity, and experimental time, etc., etc. Next, what happens with the probe? The DNA fragments make hybridizations, or you can say in the membranes hybridization techniques is occurs, or hybridization is occurs. So let's see, label probe is added into the membranes in buffer incubated for hours. It may be 1 hours or it may be 4, or for different probes or different DNA segments it may differentiate. Okay, After hybridizations, we need washing. By this washing techniques, we can wash out those probes which are not interacted with the DNA segments, or you may call unbounded probes are washed out by this washing technique. And next steps, that is the detection steps. For radioactive probes, X-ray film is placed over the membrane or a phosphorymagnetic instrument, and enzymatically labeled probes are uh, typically detected by incubating with the chemiluminescent substrate and exposing the bolt to the X-ray films. That means what happens in these detection techniques, there is some different detection process is involved for different types of substrate or different types of probes used in the hybridization technique. As example, where we can use the radioactive probes, we can identify these probes with the help of X-ray film, which is placed over the membrane. Let's see whole process in short. At first, what happened? DNA restriction fragments occurs. That means DNA fragment out. Then what happens? Gel electrophoresis, by which we can separate the DNA fragments according to their structures. Then what happens? Then blotting is processed. During this blotting techniques, a special arrangement is needed, in which buffer is in the bottom section, then sponge, then the gel membrane is placed, and after this gel membrane, a nitrocellulose filters or nitrocellulose membrane is placed. Top portions of the nitrocellulose membrane, there is presence of some papers or towels. Then the weight is placed. By this special arrangement, we can process the blotting techniques, where with the buffers, the DNA fragments travels into the nitrocellulose membrane from the gel. Okay. Then what happened? In the nitrocellulose membrane, we introduced some probes which are homologous in or with the samples. Then they from hybridized or hybridization technique is formed. After this hybridizations, we can identify those DNA fragments with the help of some detection techniques such as autoradiograph or autoradiography. So that's all the certain techniques by which we can identify or we can differentiate, or you can say we can specify our DNA sequence or special types of DNA sequence from others. So thank you. Hope you can understand whole process. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe my channel for more update. Thank you once again for watching this video.